Charm isn't typically the reason that you get into games like Path of Exile. That's usually reserved for things like gameplay or story, but it's why you stay. The little things that make you really fall in love with the game. And I love things like how the tunnels in the first cave are extremely narrow. Lots of games shy away from showing negative space, but it works in their favor to create an atmosphere. It's easy to focus on enemies coming from just one direction. It's hard to realize that you've only got one way out. I love the dynamic in the cave setting being really immersive when you're playing alone, but comically inconvenient when you're playing with friends. I love how terrifying it is that the walls themselves in a seemingly empty cave can come alive. Or how a giant worm never stops burrowing, unraveling, and showing you just how endless it seems to be. I love how the game treats even mini-bosses as a spectacle, and how they all have their own unique feel and mechanics with each encounter, and how this philosophy shines throughout. Many games can deliver things like huge bosses, but there aren't many that make you really sit back and say, wow, every single time. I love how particular enemies, like insects or frenzied cultists, swarm and surround you, making it so if you have the misfortune of getting caught, you can't escape. The cultist village makes this distinctively maddening, yet visually very impressive in its vertical nature, and it's sometimes hard to keep track of where to go when you're constantly getting swarmed. I love how simple enemy designs, like shielded enemies, are effective in how they make you change your rhythm in approaching an encounter. Yet they don't seem forced for the sake of gameplay, but rather that they fit into the world. Like how these bird enemies have a real weight to their movement, and that they can't stop on a dime and change directions. I love that the trees are organized deliberately, and you have to weave around them, like walking in a real forest. I love being able to overlay the map over the middle of the screen. I love the Crowbell, an enemy whose name suddenly makes sense as you're fighting him. And spoilers for the final area of the zone here, but I love the descent through the manor as you see the beast getting closer and closer, as you yourself fall into the madness, watching every creature turn into an even more and more grotesque version of itself. I love Path of Exile 2 so far. Let me know your favorite thing about Path of Exile 2 in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching.